A study was recently published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. They found that at least 88% of the Earth's ocean surface is polluted with plastic debris. Most of the waste that was found are actually single-use plastics, which ranges from instant coffee to shampoo sachets. So why do we still use plastic? Well, it's because of its versatility, flexibility, strength, resistance to water, and of course, affordability. With most of our plastic waste in the ocean, there are detrimental effects to the environment. For instance, global warming, loss of biodiversity, degradation to ecosystems, and we also have numerous accounts of wildlife becoming entangled in plastics, which leads to injury, impaired movement, and in some cases, death. With this constant problem of waste management and overconsumption of plastics, we can see that different countries has already acted towards the problem by implementing different kinds of laws, ordinances, and bills. And despite all efforts into alleviating the plastic problem, statistics still show that 88% of the ocean surface is still polluted. So the problem is not only the implementation of the government, but also on how us humans implement these said laws. Through this, different entrepreneurs have taken steps into helping the environment and has seen this as an opportunity to introduce alternatives into the market. Here is where the contemporary problem comes in, where there is a division between the high and low socioeconomic classes. How did this become a problem? Well, this is due to the fact that these alternatives, just to name a few, eco bags, straws, bottles, have become so inaccessible to the lower class. And not only that, but to become zero waste, other essential alternatives can only be bought online or in urban areas. There comes the division on whether being environmentally friendly could only be catered for the higher class. This is what we call global capitalism, and under this, more specifically, entrepreneurial capitalism. This implies that flow of capital is bigger and more important than flow of goods. It allows a more level playing field for a large number of actors across the globe. Small and innovative firms are the key actors here, in which they are allowed with more creativity and higher reward. Oftentimes, small firms can be bought out by large enterprises. However, this plays by the game of high risk and high reward. Thus, the consumers are usually the rich. In order to alleviate the plastic problem, we need to change our mentality. The goal should be to refuse single-use and not to refuse plastic. We can see that we lose our dependency on plastics now that we have turned to cutting down trees. We use paper straws, paper bags, paper cups, paper everything. With this, we can use the 5 R's to help us reduce our plastic consumption. The first one is to refuse. Refusing to take a taxi, you can opt to walk, bike, or share a ride instead. These decisions on refusing can help reduce our carbon footprint. Refusing to buy plastic when you don't need it can also reduce your consumption. Second is to reduce. Reduce the things you actually acquire. For instance, ask yourself, do I need this or do I not? And also look at the items you already acquire. Is this something I can refuse? If you can't refuse it, you reduce. For instance, you just can't live without drinking milk tea every day. However, most milk tea brands are packaged in plastic cups. Step 1. Refuse. If you can't refuse it, just reduce drinking milk tea. It cuts down your sugar too. Third is to reuse. The goal is to buy the items that you only need. An instance of this is when it comes to clothing. Our clothes are made with tiny fibers of plastic. This is what makes them stretchy. If you don't need those leopard leggings, don't buy them. Instead, it's better to buy at thrift shops and use hand-me-down clothes that your tita from America gave you. In that way, you're already saving the environment. Less demand equals to less supply on plastics. Fourth, rot your food. Rotting your food can be used as fertilizers if you have plants at home, and it reduces your waste consumption. At least in this way, you know where your trash is going. It's not just going to the ocean or being burned away. It's being put into good use. Fifth is to recycle. If you can't refuse plastic, recycle it. You can make your own eco bricks or pencil holder out of plastic bottles. You can recycle torn out clothes and sew them and make them into a rug. Use your creativity. You see, the mindset of the people is the problem, not the plastic. If all of us can do these 5 Rs, the division between the rich and the poor does not have to hinder us from becoming environmentally friendly. Together, we, regardless of socioeconomic class, can all save the planet.